Fleet Admiral is a fast, light, push-your-luck strategy game from designer and publisher Castle Games Inc., who is our favorite designer during our Indiegogo campaign for this season.
In Fleet Admiral, players race to complete missions and upgrade their ships in order to attain the rank of Admiral while working together to solve the galactic crisis. It supports from 1 to 4 players and plays out in around half an hour.
Each player begins Fleet Admiral with a ship board and a stack of ship upgrade cards. Then each player is dealt cards from the crew deck until everyone receives a level 1 crewman who they immediately add to their ship. Any unused cards at this stage are put back in the crew deck, shuffled in, and the crew deck is placed face down in the center of the table. Then the same thing happens with the component deck, so you're dealt cards until you receive 2 level 1 components. If the second one is a duplicate of the first one, then that one can go into your cargo hold.
Each player begins their turn by rolling the mission die. If you roll a crew or component symbol, then you draw a card from the corresponding deck and resolve its requirements. A failure symbol means that no matter what, the mission has failed, and a success symbol is an immediate success, and you get to choose which of the 2 decks you draw from.
A crew or component card's requirements are listed in one of the top corners. You need to have the crew or components represented by those icons installed on your ship to be able to pass the mission. If you succeed in the mission, you can add that mission card to your ship. If you fail in the mission, then your turn immediately ends, and any mission cards that you collected that turn are discarded.
After succeeding on the first card, you can roll the die again and risk a second card. Its requirements are going to be added to those on the first card, and you have to meet all of them in order to succeed. Now, at this second stage, you can ask another player to help you, and they'll add their ship's strength to yours. If they agree, then if you succeed in your mission, they'll get first pick of the mission cards. If you succeed on this second step of the mission, then you can try a third time. Now, you can't ask for help in this third phase, but somebody who's already helping you will continue to do so.
After successfully completing a mission, you can add that mission card to your ship, or you can discard it. Now, every crew or component card has a value of 1 to 4. And you can't add a card to your ship if it has a value greater than your ship's value. However, you can add it to your cargo hold. You can put a number of cards in your cargo hold equal to the level of your ship. You can't use these cards in your hold to fulfill missions, but you can add them to your ship at a later time.
Components are classed as weapons, power, sensors, or defense, and there are 3 types of components within each class. Each component slot on your ship can hold a maximum of 1 component of each type of the class that's appropriate to that slot. Crew have 3 classes, which are designated by color, and each officer slot can hold 1 crew member of the appropriate color. If the race of a crew member matches that of your captain, then their power rating gets a bonus of 1 for the purpose of resolving missions.
After resolving your mission card, you can spend 1 card out of your crew, your components, or your cargo bay to upgrade your ship. So the value of the card that you spend has to be equal to or greater than the level of the ship that you are upgrading to. The level of your ship is going to determine how many officers you can have in play at one time.
Once one player has upgraded to a battleship, the galactic crisis begins. At the start of every player's turn who has a ship of level 3 or higher, a crisis token is added to the pile in the middle of the table. Now, if at any point this pile exceeds 4 tokens per player, then everybody loses.
Once the crisis level exceeds 2 tokens per player, then the players can start doing something about it. If you have a ship of level 3 or higher, at the end of your turn, you can donate cards in order to take crisis tokens out of that center pile. For every card you donate, you get 1 crisis token back. As soon as one player has collected 10 crisis tokens, then the galactic crisis is averted, and that player is the winner.
Probably the most striking thing about Fleet Admiral is its visual design. It's got a really clean look, all of its design is very simple, and everything is laid out in a really easy to read manner. Now, this is hugely important for a game that relies very heavily on iconography for its rules and gameplay to come across, and I love the fact that you can easily figure out your power levels and everything that you have just at a glance. All of the icons are distinct. It's a really visually accessible and easy to use game, and I really appreciate that. Another thing that I really like about Fleet Admiral is that shipbuilding mechanic. It's a pretty simple push your luck game, but the fact that you've got to design your ship in particular ways, you've got different crew and component requirements, adds an element of strategy and also adds more stress to the outcome of the results because there's really specific things that you want. It really adds a lot of energy and interest to the game, and it also makes it much more engaging in terms of the theme. One problem that I did have with this game is that the rulebook is not as clearly written as it could be. It's fairly narrative in its flow. It doesn't really highlight important points. It's not very easy to flip through and reference. And I did find that I struggled a little bit with the rules the first time through. Now, the publisher has addressed that somewhat. They've got a very useful FAQ section on their website. And if you do have any trouble with the rules the first time you play this, I highly recommend that you have a look there.
So another potential negative to this game is it can start out a bit slow. So you may feel like when you're just sort of getting started in this game, everybody's rolling, failing missions, not getting the crew components that they need, and it can feel a bit solitary and maybe a little bit draggy right at the beginning. However, once you get into the rhythm of this game, it moves along at a really nice clip. So you're going to get into it, it's going to start getting really pacey, moving along really quickly, and that's really nice. Once you get there, it's fantastic. Another thing that I really like about this game is the theme. And it's funny because when you first open the box and you look at the cards, it may feel like not all that many decisions were made about theme. It's got a really elegant design and it's very simple, layout's nice, but the theme, I find, comes from the color, a little bit of the choice in the iconography, some of the choices in the rulebook. It really reminds me of sort of old school sci-fi. I really get sort of an original Star Trek feel from this game. And it's not a Star Trek game by any means. However, it's got that sort of retro, nice, old school sci-fi kind of thing that I really like. And I think a lot of people who loved old sci-fi are really going to appreciate here.